Minor spoilers, but don't worry, they're not that big, just mentioning the name of a story arc in the future and also two very small details from it. It shouldn't stop your enjoyment of it. Hey everybody, it's Tripl-L and now let's talk My Hero Academia. Specifically focusing on a pair of characters in the series and analyzing how they interact and how people end up feeling about it. So hey everyone, welcome to this video, thanks for watching. These videos keep doing relatively well and the reception has been mostly positive, so I'm pretty happy. Let's keep it going, let's keep making this video series better. Anywho, if you want to know what we're going to be doing in the future, what I'm thinking and all that, it's at the end of the video. Fans of this series of videos, you guys have a sense for how it works. Anyway, today, the characters in the spotlight are Aizawa and Yamada, otherwise known as Eraserhead and Present Mic. The structure of the video is going to be a brief history of their interactions, a quick talk on what the author does with them and their dynamics, and finally how their dynamics inspire the fandom, otherwise known as the shipping corner, where I give my thoughts on what drives their fans. This video is a bit more meaningful for me because it's the first topic that was requested by a viewer, so to that viewer, I really hope you enjoy the video. So let's break down the history. If one was to look for arcs where they could see these characters interacting, the arc you would ultimately settle on is the Sport Festival arc, where Aizawa was a willing captive and Present Mic's co-commentator. This is the arc that features the most banter between the two, and it's where we get the biggest sense for how these two characters interact with each other. Beyond that story arc, there aren't many others, and that makes sense. These are supporting characters, Present Mic especially. Their involvement is even less than that of the background 1A students. But that's not a bad thing because the sports festival is enough to give us a good sense of the two. Now, the interesting quirk when it comes to history is that after the sports festival, two scenes were showcased, and those scenes were not featured in the main manga proper. The first scene was a flashback of how Eraserhead got his name. Present Mic was the one that coined it, and the second scene comes out of the Vigilante spin-off from a side chapter even that was released for the online service, I believe. That scene didn't feature Present Mic, but it gave a very important characterization. Now that's the history, let's get into the characterization of their interactions. So their behavior follows an archetype, there is a rationale to it. These guys are opposites, they are designed to contrast off of each other. The degree to which they are opposites and the degree to which they clash over it, however, depends on the author. For example, One Piece has Zoro and Sanji, their opposition is more slanted towards the violence that results due to small differences. Naruto had a ton with varying degrees of success. Fairy Tail had Natsu and Gray, but that one changed by the day, it wasn't very consistent. Point is, this archetype of character interaction is on a spectrum. For Aizawa and Yamada, as we see in the one arc, Yamada is extroverted while Aizawa is reclusive and more serious. He ends up serving as the straight man to Yamada's excited exaggeration. Another trait that pops up through that arc is that Aizawa is more likely to be able to analyze and be rational. The evidence comes from their style of commentary, where Aizawa gives us the technical and thoughtful commentary, whereas Yamada gives us the excited and reactionary commentary. That said, these are pretty much broad strokes. What about the smaller strokes? Well, these are interesting in that to point them out, you can use scenes where the two are not anywhere near each other. What connects those scenes are the commonalities. Because they are both pro-heroes, they have a degree of competence and professionalism associated to them, and also because of that, they will encounter similar scenarios. One of the scenes that I really appreciate is the scene in the school trip arc where Aizawa, after witnessing a certain event unfolding, doesn't want to think about what it means. He doesn't engage in that line of thought. Later on, when the rest of the teachers are being debriefed about it, Yamada is the one who engages in the line of thought and is the one who puts it out on the table and is just straight up about it. This tells us how they are willing to deal with sensitive topics and their judgment. Eraserhead will opt to not take initiative on it unless prompted, whereas Yamada will approach guns a-blazing and might overstep because of hastiness. Both approaches to the topic could be seen as flawed, but the value here is seeing an example of their differences playing out when the stimulus is roughly the same. Another smaller nuance comes from their level of professionalism. They're professional, but not when it comes to bureaucracy, unless pushed of course. Yamada is loud and emotional in meetings where he should probably be quieter, while Aizawa is an underachiever willing to just show up however. This is a case of similarities playing out in different directions. You could keep pointing out the differences for the characters, but that'll never end. You could point out how Yamada freaks out at a bug and how Aizawa would be cool. Now going back to the interesting quirk regarding the characters' histories, we know that they were friends in high school, so that's really nice. They were friends in high school and now look, they reunited at work. Except that's not how it went. In Vigilantes, we find out that it's expected that Aizawa knows what Yamada's up to. In that side chapter, we had a conversation with Midnight where Aizawa complained that he wasn't Yamada's babysitter, but after prodding from Midnight, he revealed that he did know after all. This was cool because this scene gave more context to the sport festival commentary. It wasn't just a funny little thing of Yamada dragging Aizawa to the commentary. That was just how their relationship worked. That's what happens all the time. There's a precedent set for this. Yamada gets Aizawa involved, Aizawa gets bothered but ultimately gives up and goes along with it, and then the cycle repeats itself. If that's not friendship, I don't know what that is. The context those scenes provided was important because it told us Aizawa had a history of dealing with this. Now, considering that Aizawa puts up with him so much, is it any wonder that people ship it? I'm not gonna lie guys, that was a surprise to me, but when you think about it, all it takes for a ship to happen is just one panel of interaction. That's all it takes. Heck, over at Pokemon, all it takes is one character smiling at another. Anyway, for this one, let's just throw away the fact that it's a gay pairing. That detail doesn't really offer much beyond possibly arguing for the forbidden fruit type effect, but at that point, that effect is applicable to all gay pairings. Truthfully, I believe the majority of shippers are not being powered by the potential taboo, but rather being powered by the same thing that powers every other shipper. At the end of the day, they see characters interacting, those interactions inspire happy feelings, and they want more, so they go to the logical extreme of interaction. There's another general reasoning that helps, and that is them being opposites. I believe that opposites tend to be easier for people to grasp rather than grasping the subtle differences between otherwise parallel characters, so people are more likely to jump at a chance when they see opposites interacting. You could rationalize it as it gives people more traits to play with rather than having a smaller pool of traits from similar characters. It ultimately just gives people more fuel for thought. But see, that's general reasoning overall. It's so boring. Let's go specific. To understand how someone could ship this, think of it from this angle. They were childhood friends, and now they even work together in the same school they met. They're polar opposites, but they still hang out. Some people would call that friendship. Some people would be inspired to take it further. That scenario, all it needs is some emotional charging and it is good to go. Within that scenario, people could also play up the angle of Aizawa still sticking around, meaning he actually secretly cares. Shippers love that. So keeping all of that in mind, when it comes to Aizawa and Yamada, I think it's revolving around the fact that despite how on paper they seem to be polar opposites, they can still get along and have gotten along since they were kids in high school. And Aizawa sticking around despite Yamada being very tiring is something that, depending on your mindset, you could take it to be great friendship, or you take it to the next level and you start shipping it. But anyway guys, those are my thoughts. We're at the end of the video. The video's done. I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, so cool. We're done. Woo! So now at the end of the video, let's just talk about what I'm planning on doing for the future. As we can see, the videos that are coming, they are fast approaching. I'll be trying to get them out sooner rather than later, so look forward to that. After the Totodeku video though, I'm not really sure what I'm going to do. Right now I'm thinking I'll take a break from shipping, but not for so long. As you can see in the channel, we have a lot of different videos popping up on the channel. They're not all within the same series of what I'm calling Pair Spotlight. But for this series of videos specifically, I think I'm going to try working on a Shokugeki no Soma video and then another My Hero Academia video. I'm not sure if the Shokugeki no Soma video will have a shipping angle yet, but I do know for the My Hero Academia video, it will specifically be looking at two characters like the normal video, except now it's looking at how the characters interact and how the themes of the story play in it. So the video for that one, for the My Hero Academia, it's going to be the dynamics between Izuku and Bakugo and how society warped it. So it'll be more analysis. If you enjoy the analysis parts of these videos, then you'll most likely enjoy that one. Once that's done though, we'll come back to shipping, and the videos that might be popping up for that, it's either going to be Toru and Ojiro, or maybe Kirishima and Bakugo, I think, because someone requested it. People are requesting it like crazy, so how quickly the Bakugo Kirishima video, however, gets produced is going to be dependent on any potential backlash that we receive from the Todoroki Izuku video. Give the backlash a bit more time to settle. But anyway guys, that's pretty much it for me. Thanks for watching. Let's end it there. Till next time, I hope you have a great day.